You're listening to Graphic Novel Explorers Club podcast, an audio book club. Thanks for checking out today's episode of Graphic Novel Explorers Club. I'm one of your hosts, Francis Preziosi, joined by Dennis Supachana.
Hello.
And Johnny Flores.
Hello.
Today we are discussing Shortcomings by Adrian Tomine. We hope you have already read today's title because all three of us have read the book and we will be discussing it, so beware, spoilers ahead. We would love for you to share your opinion and thoughts on our social media. Twitter is at GN Explorers Club, on Facebook, or email us at gnexplorersclub@gmail.com. Graphic Novel Explorers Club is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever podcasts are available. If you'd like to plan ahead for episode 4, we will be discussing Afterlife with Archie by Robert Aguirre Sacasa. Thank you. Yes. So before we get started, our fearless leader, Dennis, will give us a brief overview of the novel. That way our listeners may follow along. Dennis?
Thank you, Francis Bott.
I was going to say, she reminds me of the bad guy from, what's the Portal?
Oh, yeah. What's her name?
I get that all the time.
Have you seen that car? This is completely way off topic, but down at the farmer's market on Sundays, and I've seen it other places around town, but I seem to notice it the most down there it's some sort of newer Japanese car, and it's got what's the industry from that? Something Industries?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
The Portal?
Oh, yeah.
The company.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Inside the game.
Yeah.
Something Industries.
Exactly.
They've got a huge emblem of that.
Oh, really?
On the side of the car, like it's a
company car.
Yeah. I was like, wow, you're really into that game, nerd. You fucking nerd.
That's funny. I thought the same thing. We have a new car in our neighborhood that has it looks like a TARDIS. It's a blue car, and it has that policeman phone box wording on there. And I'm a Doctor Who fan, but I was like, what a fucking nerd.
I know. Sometimes you'll see something and you're like, dude, take it down a notch.
Seriously. You have to already be committed to a lady or have no hopes of having one if you have something like that.
Yeah, you've either... It's, one or the other. You're balls deep, as we were talking about earlier. And
we were talking about balls.
And being more specifically balls deep, which is the deepest you can go, is the balls. Right. The balls are now touching the outside of whatever the penis is in. And then... you have to have no chance of ever being balls deep in anybody.
This is sadly a good synopsis of this comic book. You're either balls deep or not. Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is. You're a nerd or you're balls deep.
Yeah.
What? No, that's not what this is.
All right. So released in 2007, Shortcomings. It's about a...
it's about a couple.
Yeah, a couple. I would say...
An Asian couple. That's important.
Yes,
it is, yes.
And one, the guy half of the couple struggling with maybe his, I don't know, desires.
No, I think he's a really immature, angry man, because he's not even that young. He's 32? What does it say in the front?
30.
So he's definitely not a young man anymore. Like you're approaching real adulthood. And he's really angry. He takes a lot of shit out on his girlfriend. It seems like he is fascinated with white women, even though he's dating an Asian woman. Like maybe that's more his thing. And he's kind of a stunted human being. He's like in Arrested Development.
Yeah, I'd say. A Gen Xer who didn't grow up.
Yeah,
I mean let's
talk about
the summary.
So what's his name?
Ben Tanaka.
Ben, and then his girlfriend
Miko Hayashi
is she's, I think, well, we'll get to that. I was gonna say she is also a little bit immature in that she wants the relationship to either move on or end.
That's not immature.
No.
Let's clarify.
No, I don't know, Francis.
But how she goes about doing it.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
But how she goes about ending the relationship is kind of immature,
right?
And it's not fair.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But And those are the two main characters, and then there's secondary characters. Some of them are friends with Ben, and then others are coworkers of Ben.
Yeah, I think his friend, what's her name? Sorry.
Alice?
Yes, I think Alice is actually a more primary character than Miko. I would make that argument. And then I think the other three white women are, well, no, because one's also Asian, but I think they're more the secondary.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so you think Miko is a secondary character?
Yeah, I think his friend is almost more important. And I'll explain why when we get down there.
So, and it's interesting, the design of the book. I love the design of the book in that we'll start with the design as opposed to ending with that. Because it hints, the inside layer of the book hints at, you don't notice it, or you don't know about it until towards the end of it, when Ben has a realization that it's been even the cover of the book has, and the inside of the book has foreshadowing to this key moment in the book. And then if you take the book, the cover off, the dust cover off, we're
doing that now.
Yeah,
as you speak.
There's a ruler which plays to the title Shortcomings, and that that the myth,
the stereotype,
not myth. That Asian men have short penises, and I think that's a play on more, not on any physical shortcoming that he has, but his mental shortcomings that he has and his emotional shortcomings that he has, which are very vast. That's my opinion on the title.
I think that's very good. I didn't even get that, but I could see your point. I'm not as into design. I just liked the design overall, and I really thought the black and white was very fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of the Ghost World one that we looked at. There was zero color in this, unlike Ghost World, which had a overall shade of, what was it, green?
Green,
but
almost like a mint green.
Right, but I liked the design, the character designs. The artwork was really clean and not cartoonish. Like, with Ghost World, like some of the characters would be like hyper realistic to the point where you saw every pimple or whatever,
or they'd be like super hyper
grotesque.
Like they had abnormalities where, like,
right,
it was very extreme abnormalities.
I like that Johnny just pointed to his own face as he described that.
Well, I have a giant pumpkin head, so I would fit right in a Daniel Klaus book.
As would I, my friend.
Yeah, but your height fits your head. My height does not fit my head. I should be like Shaq's height. But so when the book starts off, and it's so fucking
sorry, one more thing about design that I really appreciated, because we're talking before we go in. There's several sexual scenes in this novel, and there was no big booby scenes. There was no gratuitous. It was very tastefully done, and maybe the guys are disappointed. I don't know. If there was like there was one boob, like drawn throughout the whole thing, and it alludes to a lot without showing a lot.
Yeah,
and I thought it was done in a respectful way.
In fact, there's one key moment where he undresses a partner. Ben undresses a partner, and she's over it. Yeah, and it was like very uncomfortable. Like,
you could sense it.
Yeah, it was palpable. Just like, because I think everybody's probably been in a situation like that where you're like, hey. And then you're too blind to see, like, maybe things are ending or have ended. And
I think her words are, I just wanted to get lunch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. I mean, it's definitely just a realistic take. There's no caricature. This is an anime. This isn't some weird Sailor Moon.
Yeah. And it's not just it's
nothing weird about
It's
Sailor
not
Moon.
nudity for, like, the sake of nudity or gratuitous nudity. It's very adult, and it's
right. It's a matter of fact. This is what happens. Yeah.
And I appreciate it too. And I'm sure you're going to get to this. I'm so sorry to cut you off.
No, you're not cutting me off. You don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. What my thoughts are. Fuck you. This podcast is over.
Great. We'll continue without you.
Do you know who I am?
I own this equipment, so you will not.
So Ben's character, and I'm guessing it's semi-autobiographical. It might not be. I don't want to make that. But the writer has really shown the embarrassing side of himself and been very vulnerable to share that and not put himself in like the superior light, you know, and I really admired that too. It's hard to not try to paint yourself as the heroine and to really be so raw. I was like, wow, like he's putting it all out there. This is all of his flaws, his warts. He's a jerk and he knows it.
Yeah.
Right, he's not like super socially conscious. He's not like aware of everything and has the right answer for everything.
Well, and like there's so many. The character of Ben is so complex because he's immature. He's unhappy with where he's at in life. He's very codependent. He doesn't want. He's obviously not interested in his girlfriend anymore. There's a scene where. Okay, so the book starts off, they're at an Asian film festival that Miko, Ben's girlfriend, has helped coordinate and put on. And he just, because he works in, quote unquote, the movie industry, in his own words, I think those are his own words.
Yep.
He's just a theater manager you can walk through, you don't have to be. We'll just cut this out. Maybe we'll leave this in. But so he's I just like the way you crawled out, like the way you slowly stepped out, like
there's a camera.
Yeah. Like,
step out of the shot.
Like if I move too slow or too fast, yeah, I'm gonna get lasered or something. But that was my girlfriend Sasha walking through the apartment, our house.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting. We'll talk about that later too.
But he so.
Well, because your girlfriend's white and you're not white,
that's true.
And your wife is
I'm
white
actually
and you're
half
not white,
white, and you
and
don't
I
know
was,
it.
and I was white. Well, I know that.
And
Yeah.
previously married to an Asian.
Yeah.
So
Asian.
No, to all of Asia apparently.
Yeah.
We married one
It's
Asian.
true. We were married briefly.
Yeah, all of Asia.
That's right.
But so he's managing this theater, and he uses that like he's got. I think this speaks of like our generation.
Totally.
You know, if you were born in the 70s, we came up around the time of like 90s films, 90s cinema, and it was. And I think this speaks of like Generation X. There was a very like you're very much when you know like in your 20s and in my early 30s, I was probably like this too, where you were such a fucking movie snob or a music snob or whatever.
Yeah.
And if someone wasn't in on it, you're like, oh, you fucking idiot. You know, it was very like you looked down on people if they didn't know, if they didn't have the same knowledge about something that you did, and you put on airs like you were born knowing that.
Right. No, this guy totally went to all the little indie theaters in Berkeley, went to the Kabuki Theater in San Francisco, and watched all the art films and all that kind of stuff.
So then this Asian Film Festival lets out, and you know it's amateur films and probably stuff made on low budgets, and he's just ripping into it. And to a point, I see his point to a degree where he's like, we should be ashamed of ourselves. We're like applauding these poorly made movies, but then he's missing the point of like, yeah, but our community made these movies. We should be proud of the fact that like we put this on. Hollywood's not going to allow us to make these movies, so we were able to make. We pulled our money together and our resources, and we got these films made, and now we're showing them. And it completely fucking hurts his girlfriend's feelings, just destroys her.
Well, she's actually in charge of it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the first movie scene, it reminded me right away of I believe the title of the film was Eat, Drink, Man, Woman, and it was an Asian film, and I might have the title wrong, so sorry listeners, but it was about this woman who does connect with her father, and they're Asian, and they have a very strong relationship through food. And when I saw that at first, I thought that's what they were watching.
Oh, is that an Ang Lee movie?
Yes, yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, so even though he's making fun of this amateur film, they have been mainstream, and it really did resonate with audiences and connected. And I thought it was kind of funny when he started like attacking. I was like, oh wow, like I was surprised. Like I was almost like offended for her.
Yeah. Oh no, it was the whole time I was like, Jesus, dude, and he's so fucking angry. He's like berating her about why this film festival sucks and why the movies suck and why they should all be ashamed of it.
Well, he definitely has something with his own identity as an Asian, right? I mean, what I saw it was like some sort of Joy Luck Club film.
Yeah.
In my view, well, I've heard of that film. I actually haven't watched it, but he basically was berating any kind of mainstream kind of Asian film that's just about feelings, and he definitely has a big problem with just anything that's labeled Asian. Like in his opinion, he's probably like Clerks, Pulp Fiction, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is A+ in his book, and anything else is just garbage. Why do you have to make it about being Asian? I don't understand that. And this is his girlfriend's whole focus. And he accuses her of
was pride in your heritage and your community.
And he accuses her of being kind of I don't know, fair weather fan because she wasn't into that before. But maybe what he's not seeing is that she's growing.
Yeah.
I mean,
she is.
I don't know how long. Does it say how long they've been dating?
I think 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Especially
Several
early
years.
30s. She's only 1 year older than him, according to the thing. But I mean, 3 or 4 years. That's a lot of growth for a person. I mean,
especially when you're transitioning out of your mid to early 20s into your 30s.
Well, and that's probably also why he's angry, is that she's starting to make that transition, right? She's moved out from the immature party 20 side to like, look, this is something I care about. This is a community I care about. This is a project I care about. I want to foster this. And he's still Mr. Movie Manager, just being snarky and just hateful.
Well, bringing other people down so he feels lifted. But getting back to what I was going to say earlier, so about them drifting apart is after that, they go home. I don't know if it's the same night or the next night, but he's staying up watching, outsider film or probably, independent movies, something like that. And she comes out in like her bra and underwear, like a tank top and underwear. It's like basically making a pass at him, like, "Hey, let's."
Oh yeah.
And she says like, "You want to go to bed?"
Yeah, and he's not looking at her. He's not paying attention to her, not at all. And he's like, "Yeah, maybe later. I'm going to finish watching these movies." And I think you skip ahead. This is spoiler alert. She winds up leaving him, and I think that's the scene. I think that's the moment. Later, she's at the airport, and they've had this huge argument, and she basically tells him, like, listen, I'm leaving. Let's try and work on this. And they've talked about working on the relationship a couple different times prior to her leaving to New York. And he's, like, being an asshole about it, like, well, if you fucking leave, it's on you, not me. But I think that's the scene. That's the moment to me, where she actually is gone.
Yeah, so funny thing, too, because this is like my marriage, but yeah, I'm just going to put that out there. So, yeah, he's like, so she says, you want to come to bed. And he's like, maybe she's like, we don't have to go to sleep. And he really disregards her. And there's a scene where she kind of slinks back to the bedroom. And I felt the same thing. I was like, that's when she's done. Like,
yeah.
She's done everything she can. She's put up with all of his crap. She's still trying.
Yeah, she's
to make
basically
this
like,
work.
let's go fuck.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I'm going to watch. He doesn't even look at her. He doesn't even turn his head to at least be like, hey, I'll be in there in a little bit, honey.
Right. And then before she actually does leave, she finds some porn.
Yeah.
And this was interesting, too. She wasn't so upset. Correct me your perception. She wasn't so upset that he was watching porn. It's that he's watching white women porn.
And he's always watching white women porn. Like, she's caught him. I got the impression that she's caught him with porn in the past. Yeah. And that was my impression, too. But she wasn't so upset. Like, I think if it had been more varied or whatever, she would have been like, dude.
Or even like Asian porn.
Yeah, or whatever. Like whatever it was. If it had not just been always white, blonde women, she would have been like, dude, put your porn away. Come on, man. But she was very clearly her. And I think when she meets him at work, and there's like a cute young blonde woman that's been hired, and he's like always looking at her. And she picks up on that, and I don't remember if this was before the porn incident or after, but she's like, "Oh, there's your type."
Right.
Basically is. And then, well, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say that I felt like, I don't know if it's ever revealed when she actually, spoiler, cheats on him, so to speak, and finds the other guy. But it feels like she really has been trying to make this relationship work. Maybe it's been harmless flirtation with the other guy, but like you said, she clearly makes a move for him in the bedroom. She wants to work things out at the airport, and he's
butthurt. He's just an immature butthurt.
Yeah,
little
he's just acting
piece
like a
of shit.
dick. Yeah.
So Oh, please
No,
continue. We're so polite. What is going on? Oh my god! So the airport scene, there's something that's really important that happens. So yeah, I agree with you. She's doing everything she can to make this relationship work. So what happens is they go to the airport, and it shows them walking away.
Well, she has an opportunity,
Right.
in New York, a job based off of her
I think it's found out it's fake opportunity though, because he
Yeah.
ultimately went and checked on the internship and she never went there.
Yeah.
So she went there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She went there specifically to be with that guy. But I think she was having doubts.
But-
she was wanting to be with him.
Well, we'll jump ahead.
So the airport scene, because I felt like this is really important, going back to her really trying to save the relationship. So it shows them, and just shows the empty parking lot. You don't know what happens yet. He gets back into the car without her, and he takes a sip of her coffee. She left her coffee behind, and he doesn't like it. He just dumps it out. And I was like, that to me symbolized how he felt about the relationship. Oh, this is not the right temperature. It's not exactly what I want. I'm going to toss it. It means
it's not to
nothing
my
to
taste.
me. Yeah. So I thought that was showing she's really trying to make it work. Maybe she's not completely happy, but he's just so willing to just throw anything away that doesn't meet his super high standards. That's how I viewed that coffee scene.
And to bring that point and Johnny's point, I actually kind of differ in the sense that I felt like it wasn't so much that he was over the relationship, because he tried a lot of times. I think he tried poorly to save the relationship, but I think he took it so for granted. Like this is my job forever, is the manager of the movie theater, and this is my relationship, and we're always going to be this 27-year-old where we're just going to kind of live in this apartment and watch these movies.
And it was, I got the impression they were probably the cool couple when they were younger,
right?
Or they're probably the two hipster couple that knew all the cool movies and whatnot. Now, I don't think he probably I guess in his half-assed way he tried, but she had to meet his rules. He didn't have to meet hers.
Absolutely.
She was expected to bend to him, but he never bent to her.
But just a really lazy pacifist kind of, I'm just accepting my life kind of way. You don't want to change as a person. So it's not so much like he's demanding this is who you have to be. It's more like, why are you changing? We have it good here at this point.
Everything's worked up to now.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point, because the whole book again starts with that fight about the cinema thing. He obviously didn't want to go, but he did go. Maybe that was his effort to try. Okay, this is my girlfriend's thing. I think it's stupid, but I'm going to go show support.
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier. In his own weird fucking warped way, he wanted the films to be better, and I get that. I've been to film festivals where I'm like, ugh,
right,
all right. But at the same time, it's like, hey, look at the fucking effort that these people put in often out of their own pocket. This is before, when this would have been occurring was several years before affordable HD cameras were,
right.
You could pick one up for $150 and you could get cinema quality, filming out of it. This would have been, people would have had to buy thousands of dollars of film stock to make these these short films and whatnot. And so yeah, it's really heartbreaking when he just fucking dumps on this community's efforts to.
Well, before we jump ahead too, I wanted to get to his who I think is actually the main character, his really good friend throughout this process.
Hold on, wait, one real quick before we get to that. So how you were saying she left?
Oh yeah.
And then to go meet this guy, it's clearly implied that's the little emblems on the book.
Mm-hmm.
That's the color of their sheets. So she was sleeping with this guy before,
right,
in their house.
That's right, because of the photographs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when he's accusing, is that our bed?
Yeah,
is that our bed? Because so she has crossed the line, but she's not totally I'm gonna leave you kind of thing. I think
that was probably the snapping point, is when he was like, you go to bed, basically go to bed. She was probably like, well, fuck it, this other guy's interested in me. He's passionate about things in a healthy way. He's trying to accomplish something. He's trying to grow as a photographer. He wants to be an artist. And
yeah, so cheating is wrong and horrible. Let's just put that out there. I've never done it, but I don't really feel like she cheated on him. Because this is why. He watched porn all the time. He was having a sexual relationship without her. And he made that choice. That's fine. So they're not married also, by the way. They're just living together.
Yeah.
He kept rejecting her. It's like, what do you expect her to do? Kind of the same thing. And why can't if he's going to have a sexual relationship outside of their relationship, she can too.
Well,
that's
I'm going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Him masturbating is not cheating per se. Maybe it's crossing.
Well, no. Okay. So masturbating is not, but when you go and watch porn and get off on other women, when you have a woman with you and you are rejecting her to go look at other women, to me, and I am Catholic, that is cheating. You have just cheated. And I know nobody agrees with me, and that's fine. I'm with two men.
Yeah.
But like, no, like I get like if your partner's like, you know what, I'm really tired. Like I don't want to tonight. Okay, cool. But when your partner's like, hey, I'm up and ready for it. And you're like, no, I'm going to go beat off by myself with these hot white chicks. That you've cheated. Like he broke the relationship.
I don't think it's
first.
implied that he cheated on or in your standards, like he cheated on her. I don't get the impression that when she went to bed, he stayed up and masturbated.
Oh, I did. That's totally what he did.
I think he watched some dumb art film.
That's what I thought. I think he was just watching those stupid movies, and then a day or two later, whenever it was, because she got his mail. I think that's what it was, or she was cleaning something out, something like that.
I think his guilt is that he's basically passive in a relationship. He's not, they always say relationships take work, right? He is not working at it.
No, he's being lazy.
So I need to bring up an important point. His friend, who's a lesbian, who he hangs out with all the time, who's super close with, and I would say he's probably more intimate with her than his current girlfriend because they talk. So she is a lesbian, and she's just trying to hit woman after woman. So by hanging out with her a lot, they're kind of feeding off each other, right? They're both really immature. They're both superior to everybody else. So it's almost like she validates his poor behavior and choices.
No, I think she rips into him quite a bit about his stupidity.
Right, but
and poor decision making.
But because she kind of acts that way, like they...
Well, if I'm understanding you correctly, and what I saw similar is that it's almost like they're still stuck in a certain time period in their life. She's still acting like she was when she was in her mid-20s.
But she grows up.
Right. That's the problem at the end, too.
Yeah, at the end.
But while he's hanging out with her, she represents what he wants. This slice of life, this slice of time that's eternal. Here's my friend who's always hitting on the new freshman. Here I am managing this movie theater and being cool, and my girlfriend should always stay whatever she was the same.
Yeah.
And is it Alice? Alice, the lesbian friend, eventually progresses. I mean, she actually gets in a stable relationship and moves on, and he's still stuck there. I mean, it's very evident people are starting to move on with their lives. Look, you can't be 20 forever. But with Alice, what I got was that she was able to encapsulate that time period. And so when hanging out with her, it's just like being in college again, that kind of thing.
But getting back to the cheating, like I don't think he was cheating. Even if you could say, okay, say the girlfriend, Miko had the same standards of you, like masturbating is cheating.
No, stop. Sorry. I'm not saying masturbating is cheating. I'm saying rejecting your willing partner to go look at other women and masturbate, that is cheating.
But see, I don't think he was necessarily doing that. I think
he's being a dick.
Yeah. I think what he was doing, though, was when she was probably away or at work and he was home, he probably jerked it off to these blonde
let's
chicks.
Let's assume though my scenario is he started beating off that night, like when she went back into the room. Is that cheating then? Your girlfriend who is hot and willing. Yeah, of course you don't, because you're a guy.
No.
Yeah.
I'm with Johnny here.
Cheating is when you put your fucking dick in somebody else, or you put your vagina around someone's dick, or you finger bang them, or whatever it is.
Cheating is anytime you have an intimate relationship outside of your relationship. Now, some people are all for that. Like they set those terms up. Like they agree to those terms.
I agree.
Yeah.
But see, their relationship though was the two of them. And even let's say this. Even if he did cheat on her, say she had the same mindset of you as like, hey, if you're jerking off to porn when I'm willing to have sex with you and you reject me for that, even if and we all were to agree, like, yeah, that's cheating. That doesn't validate her cheating.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it totally does.
No.
Yes, it does. Oh, it validates it.
I don't know about that. What if there was no porn? What if he imagined a woman? Would that be cheating because he's having a sexual relationship with an imaginary woman?
Okay, she was willing, though. She wanted to have sex with him. She wanted to connect with him. He rejected that. So, yes.
But
sorry, I don't really
there's
And here's the other thing, too, though. Here's another thing. Here's another thing. He has this idealized woman in his mind, the white woman, which I'm white. That's ridiculous. She can never live up to those standards, so she's always going to be less than to him, and she has to carry that, knowing, I'm never going to fulfill him. I'm doing everything I can, and so and I think the moral of the story is, if you're going to keep pushing your loved one away, they will leave.
Well, no, but see, here's this is how she is, in my eyes, equally at fault now with the relationship falling apart. Is she should have had the respect, at least for when they think the respect for the memory of when the relationship was good, to say, hey, listen, this isn't working. I'm interested in somebody else, or not even have to say that, but just be like, just be like, this isn't working. I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
And then tell the other person, listen, I am now free of this person, because I would do that if I was in a relationship and it was okay, and I was so interested in somebody else and I was so unhappy with the other person, where I was like, okay, I'm seriously contemplating cheating on them. I need to go in that relationship, and I would have the respect for what happened in the past that was good and decent, to be like, listen, I can't stay with you anymore. I'm really sorry. I'm ending the relationship. We're now over. So I would at least have in my for myself, the moral freedom now to now pursue this other person.
Okay, so I agree with you on that point. But according to Miko, and I actually believe her, he came. So the guy that she leaves him for is a white guy,
half white, actually.
Yeah, because he looked like Yul Renner. Let's be honest.
He makes fun of him as being David Carradine,
right?
But so, according to her, and I actually did believe her, she met him in the city. He came back to their house, and they took photos. He's a photographer. He took nude photos. Nothing happened. I believe that. She goes to New York, and they go on a break. So technically, she did not cheat.
But
if you're on a break,
here's the thing, though.
This is like Friends season 2.
No, but here's the thing, though. I think it's way more wrong to have a partner fucking bring a member of the opposite sex into your house.
I agree with you on that.
Take intimate photos, even if they're not nude, but in your bed, without saying, hey, this dude I met who's a photographer, he wants to take some photos. We're gonna go back to the house and nothing nude, something like that. But he just wants to take a couple photos for this postcard thing. Are you cool with that? Yeah, sure, honey, go for it. Is he gonna be around later so I can meet him? No. Oh, okay, thanks. Where am I gonna be able to see the photos at? Asking questions like,
yeah.
So she was being deceitful and hiding that from him.
And she knew. I mean, she knew why she was asking for a break. She wanted to straddle both worlds, see if what's his name again? I want to call him by the author's name. Ben.
Right, I do too.
Ben was going to basically step up and try to save the relationship, and then she was also kind of working this guy.
He did yell at her, and he was like, "Oh, you're a model now. Why would you want to do that?" So I could see why she didn't even tell him, "I'm going to pose for this photographer," because she knew he was going to ridicule her. And if you get to a point where you're like, you know what, I can't take any more of your crap and your negativity, and you're obviously doing what you want to do when you want to do it, I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. So that right there is female empowerment.
No, get out of here. But it's also because she was romantically interested in this other person.
I mean, his mindset at the time.
Can I ask you guys this? So let's say, and I don't want to throw Sasha in here, but that's your partner right now. So I'm sorry, Sasha. Let's say you're like, hey, Sasha, you're in your boxers or whatever. You're like, want to get with this? Because you would say that or something like that. You'd be like, woo,
I
or
would
something.
Say, oh, yeah, you want to get with this?
Yeah.
He would. I've heard that.
And then what if Sasha is on the couch watching male porn and she's like, no, I want to watch this?
I would laugh. I would be like, what are you doing watching that? Because that doesn't seem like something she would do.
Right. But if she did that and then she's like, she doesn't want to be with you, but she's going to look at other naked men, is that okay?
I think if it had gotten to the point where she was rejecting me for that frequently, I would end the relationship.
Okay, so it's not okay for her and it's not okay for men to do it.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I would have the maturity to recognize the issues that are going on. And
Johnny wouldn't go to New York and pose nude.
What I'm saying is I have the willpower.
But it's a double standard. I'm just going to say that. It's a double standard.
No, it isn't.
No, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with you. What I'm saying, though, is, look, what someone does in their own free time, if it's, say, for whatever reason, my partner was like, you know what? I love Johnny. I love our sex life. But sometimes I like to look at super ripped fucking dudes or whatever. Say that she was like, you know what? Hey, for whatever reason, I get off on male porn. I like seeing two dudes bang each other. I'd be like, hey, if that's what you need to do. That's me, though. Like, I'm pretty...
And we're not saying that. I'm not trying to talk about her.
No. Yeah. But what I'm saying, though, is if that's what you need to do to get sexual relief for yourself outside of me, I'm fine with that. Whatever, if that's what you mentally and physically, sexually need, as long as we're okay when we're together, I'm fine with that. Now, if she was like, hey, I need to actually be in the middle of two dudes when they're banging, I'd be like, well, that's a new parameter and level on this relationship that I didn't agree with. Good luck. Go find that on your own. And, like that's. But I think someone masturbating to an image is not upsetting to me.
Well, I would agree with Johnny because here's the thing: what if you found your partner's vibrator? Does that mean, oh, you need this instead of me?
Yeah.
Damn it, you got me on that one.
Just because a woman has a vibrator doesn't mean like, oh, suddenly she's having relationships with this machine, and now she's cheating on me with this machine.
Or that that makes me incompetent.
Right.
Like I don't feel like, or say ex-girlfriend of mine loved those stupid fucking Harlequin books and masturbating to them. Like that was a thing. She's just like, I like to read these and jerk off to them. I'd be like, you know what? That's fine. Because that's a fucking fantasy. I can't, that's not reality. That's not the reality of our relationship. It's not the fucking reality of this world we live in. So if that's what you need every once in a while to like fulfill yourself sexually, like go for it. I'm fine with that. It's not cheating to me. It's not stepping out of our relationship. That's what you need on your own by yourself. That's totally fine. Even though we're a couple and most of our life is intermixed and we do things together for the most part, there's still an element of you that's an individual and needs to maintain that individuality. So whatever you need to do to be happy as an individual, go for it. As long as it doesn't hurt me or affect us, and it's making you happy and keeps us moving along together in a healthy direction, go for it.
I'm nodding.
He is. He's like, yes. So we'll get back to the book then, because I'm very Catholic.
Back to love talk with Johnny.
Yeah. No, I think that's good, and I think because Ben does get like really upset, like when he finds out what's going on, and I felt it was a little unwarranted, but you guys probably felt more it was justified. But I will give you that, like to have someone come into someone's house, I felt like that's like such a violation.
So like that's I'm trying to do this. I don't think they'll. Okay, so there were some friends many years ago. And
last week.
No, this. And
why are you looking at me like that?
There was a couple. No, because this was many years ago. The woman was involved with a man. I was friends with both of them. She wound up through another female friend going out and meeting up and hanging out with one of her ex-boyfriends. They wound up drinking, and the two girls wound up getting naked in this dude's bathtub and never told the one's partner about this, or like even notified him like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my ex-boyfriend. Like that's one, not just saying that's fucking so deceitful to be like, hey, I'm not, just let you know, so-and-so and I are going to go meet up with my ex-boyfriend. That right there that's a huge fucking, I would be really upset. Now, if they had just said, hey, listen, Bob wants to go meet up again for a drink, he knows we're together. I think he just needs some closure or whatever. He just wants to say, I'm happy for you. We're just going to meet up for like an hour. We'll be at this place. I'll call you when I'm heading out. Or if you want to meet up with me later, tell me where and when to be there, and I'll be there. That to me is like, okay, thanks. Thank you, honey. Thank you for respecting us. Thank you for letting me know where you're going to be at and what you're going to be doing, even though you're hanging out with this ex and you're going to have a drink or two with them. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. That is bad in and of itself to not even say that. But then to go to this person's house and then get naked in their fucking bathtub. Like that's fucking wrong. That's
and gross.
Yeah,
it's an STD waiting.
And you're not going to get clean that way.
Yeah. Anyways, so
let me back up. The whole thing with the new guy, whatever his name is, the Yul Brynner dude.
We'll just call him Yul.
Yeah, Yul. There's a lot of levels that I can identify with Ben regarding, not in terms of cheating or any of that stuff, but what I'm pretty Americanized Asian. I don't speak any of my native tongue. I know a little bit about my culture. That's about it. So I'm pretty sure Ben is like
English
that too.
is your native tongue,
right? But I don't like. My mom never taught me Thai or anything like that. So, and so here's Yul Brynner speaking whatever language with her.
Yeah.
So there's a deeper level where it's like, not only are you seeing a guy who's more Asian than I am, even though he's half Asian, right? In his eyes, it's like, this guy's more legit. He actually speaks the language, but like he's doing this kung fu stuff.
Well, and he's not ashamed of his culture.
Right.
He's not ashamed of his upbringing.
And that's what, obviously what his ex-girlfriend finds appealing. But I mean, that really hits to his core of his whole, like, I mean, she's always trying to push away his Asian identity. And here's someone who's embracing it, even though he's only half.
Yeah.
And it really hits a nerve with him because she's found basically what she wanted him to be. Just, she didn't want him necessarily to be speaking whatever it happened to be,
but to be proud of himself.
Proud of himself and not bash it all the time.
Yeah.
And so he basically saw her dream guy in a sense and manifested in a physical form right there.
Who's banging her?
Hotter than her, is more successful in life. Mm-hmm. Did he own those clothing stores, or he's some big name artist?
It implied that he did own it because he said the owner of the stores does all the
right. So you're looking at.
I never put that together.
You're looking at the bizarro Ben right there, but instead of like some crappy gray looking dude, you're looking at successful, fit, speaks more languages, is more Asian than you.
Well, and he's found his place in the world. He's
right.
He's got a passion for clothing and photography, and he has a little success in it too.
And he's been able to tap into this intimacy level with his girlfriend that he never was able to do. I mean, those photographs were very intimate in this. We're talking about nudity. We're talking just the look of her. And
well, I was just say, like, he was able to get a sense out of her within the photograph. Like, he was able to artistically represent her in a photograph.
Right.
And that takes, you have to build some sort of rapport and relationship and get your subject in the photo to trust you, to allow you to, I mean, if you've ever sat for a photo, it's really fucking awkward,
right.
And to like pose and do whatever. So he was able to connect with her and get her to open up and be vulnerable to pose for the photo, which is something Ben wouldn't be in.
Yeah, and he made her look beautiful, whereas Ben would ridicule her. Yeah.
So
that's a good observation, though, because I didn't think about that. Because
you were so caught up on him cheating on her by masturbating.
And this is what I thought. And I
white girl porn.
Yeah, I wanted to get Dennis's opinion, though, because at first I thought this was like a book about relationships, but really it's really about Asian relationships and this guy trying to figure out his identity. And throughout, he keeps like trying to be with these white women, and it was almost like that was like the epitome of his success, was to get a white woman. And I thought that was really weird.
I wonder if that was because I know I've been accused of that at times in my life.
I was wondering, and your wife is white.
Yeah. It could just be about anyone who's in a multiracial relationship or interracial relationship, that it's, because you're not dating within your race, are you somehow only attracted to this ideal whiteness or what have you? The truth is that he's probably just very Americanized, and that happens to be the standard of beauty that he's used to.
Yeah.
And it's not so much he's actively like, I think she feels that way because he rejects her so much. That's honestly probably not his thing. He probably is really into her as well, but he's just so passive about it. He can't show her that he's into her at the same level. So I didn't see it so much that he has this white girl fetish. It just happens to be his norm. And maybe because she accused him of having such a fetish, maybe he...
Well, and he's so defensive. He couldn't, like...
Because he did say, don't put that shit on me when he gets the new hire.
He's hypersensitive about things, whereas Whereas, if he was a little bit more secure and honest with himself, he could have told her or joked with her, but like, yeah, I know, but I love you, honey. Like,
right,
you
totally.
know, he could have, if he was a little bit more of an adult, he could have admitted that to himself. Like, okay, yeah, maybe I do. I'm really sorry, but I love you. I'm with you.
Right.
You win. You get me.
Yeah.
And then not TMI, but if you're going to go look for Asian porn, that's in a very special section. This general porn generally is just white girls. So
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That is actually a good point. Well, yeah, because my ex-husband was also Asian, Filipino, so kind of more. Some Asians don't consider them Asian, but
I consider him Asian.
Yeah.
He and I were both what they call jungle Asians.
Yeah. But a lot of people just assumed that I was with him because he was a lawyer. And that's the only way she could be attracted.
I regret saying that, by the way.
No, I know. Yeah, sorry. That's terrible. That was a joke. If you're gonna be mad at anybody, be mad at me because I'm a strong Catholic. I'm all anti-porn. But yeah, a lot of people just assume there's just these assumptions that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they just
I never knew that.
So really, that just implied that you were like a gold digger,
right? And also on that note, which really made me mad, is my husband didn't make money. The student loan debt was so ridiculous. Like we never bought a house because it was a mortgage payment. And I was like, look, if I was after somebody for their money, I would not have married my husband. Like I wouldn't marry a lawyer ever again. Like starting out because they're just buried in loan debt. But that was just the assumption. Like
that blows my mind. I never knew that. So they assumed that you could not be actually physically emotionally attracted to an Asian. You were only attracted to the money possibility.
Yeah.
Wow.
And because he was older and there's a lot of differences between us, but he was older and I was younger, and it was just very much like, oh look, yeah, like he's the sugar daddy, and no, like I really did love him. He did not speak Tagalog, but he understood Tagalog, and he was a little bit not as he knew like he was American because he was born in the Philippines. So like he always kind of felt like a bit of an outsider also. Like he didn't really feel totally Americanized. And that's also because his parents tried to like really embrace him in the culture as they should have, So, but yeah, so for me, that was what happened to us.
Oh, okay.
It was just.
Well, see, like me, I grew up with a white mom. In fact, this is funny. My sister, we had the same parents. Our dad's Mexican or Mexican American. Our mom's Caucasian, and my sister looks Caucasian. And I would tell my sister when we were little to mess with her, I'd be like, "Oh, you were the adopted one," and it was no thought of like, well, maybe you should look in the mirror, brown guy, because you're the only brown guy around here. But like the few times that I ever did try to ask out a Mexican girl or like Mexican American girl, they never had any interest in me because I didn't fit, because I didn't grow up in that culture. I didn't, much like your ex-husband, like I was like in this weird space where like I wasn't white at all. I'm not white, but then I wasn't Hispanic enough to fit within like Hispanic communities. It just doesn't. So like the few times, and I've had Mexican girls tell me that before, like that I've worked with in the past. They're like, you were the least brown guy. Like you're the least Mexican I've ever met in my life. I was like, yeah, I know. Sorry. Like,
and that's, I can understand in some respect Ben's anger because I dealt with that. I've been called the least Asian of Asians because I didn't
even know you were Asian till tonight.
It's true.
Your name is Dennis.
and so I can understand, feeling like you're in between. You look away, but then a certain way. But then when you're around other people who look the same way, you don't fit in because you don't know the culture, you don't know the language, and so it's this weird thing where you always feel out of place everywhere you go. You're not white. You're not this other race. And so I can understand why in some ways, why he's pushing away the whole Asian thing, because it never really was part of him.
Yeah,
anyways.
and we don't know his upbringing. We don't
Right.
know if he, none of the parents from the characters in this are in the book, and
Right.
you don't know. Maybe he grew up in an exclusively white neighborhood, or went to a completely white school, and so we don't know any of that.
And his friend is a lesbian, and I think she's Korean. She's Korean
because
and
they hate him. His parents are racist.
That's right. So
trying to
he's
keep-
Japanese. That's right.
Yeah,
She's trying to appease her Asian parents by
who
living.
are also Catholic. They are.
Yeah, well, because it's awesome. But so she brings Ben to an event and passes him off as her boyfriend, and they're very unhappy.
He's the beard.
Yes, and they're very unhappy because he is Japanese. And
but they would have been more unhappy if he was a woman.
Right. And she's like in grad school. She's trying to do all these things to make her Asian parents, her grandparents, very happy, like to appease them. And she finally is like, you know what? And maybe, am I jumping ahead too much?
No.
And so what happens is, so his girlfriend goes to New York. Then his friend, she gets kicked out of grad school, and she says, you know what? I'm going to go to New York for a little bit. And this infuriates Ben. Why does everybody want to go to New York? New York's not all that great.
Which I would concur.
Yes. So she goes to New York, and then Ben comes out to visit. But what happens is, and this is part of her growing, is she realizes she's not going to live under her parents' expectations anymore. Like, she got kicked out of grad school. She's not going to try to appease them anymore. She never wanted grad school. She's not going back to grad school. She becomes in a committed relationship with a woman, and they're out in public. It's her girlfriend's birthday. They're very celebratory of it, very loud and proud. This is my girlfriend. We love each other, you know. So I feel like that too is a sense of growing up, and you stop doing things for your parents, or and you start doing things for yourself.
Yeah, she had multiple. I mean, I hate to say it, but New York helped her out a lot. I mean, she stopped being
a slut.
Yeah, basically, and she decided that I actually want a real relationship. I'm not going to keep hooking up with these girls.
And that's where Ben goes. He's finally free of. They are on a break or whatever, and so he winds up. I forget.
He tries to
with his employee.
Let's see, her name is Autumn,
but she's really young, right? She's
22.
Like 22. Yeah, so 8 years, almost a decade younger.
To his defense on that with Autumn, I thought she was coming on to him. So, like, he goes out to, like, her art show. He goes back to her house. He tries to kiss her, and she's like, no.
Okay. Yeah, but when you're that age, what you think is harmless flirting, and Ben's finally free to pursue his idealized version of a woman, which is this blonde. My phone's on somewhere. Sorry about that.
You got a cuckoo clock?
Yep.
Well, that's interesting because, I think she was just trying to be friendly, right? I think she was just trying to say, hey, this is the cool art stuff I'm doing. I'm in a musical performance thing. She wanted to invite him just because he seems to be into cool things. But I think he was so desperate, like, I'm on a break. I have to. It's almost like one of those teen movies where, like, we're on spring break, so I have to get laid. It was almost like his mission. Like, she's in New York, I have to get laid. And so he was misreading completely. I think she was just being friendly. I've had many female friends where you're just kind of hanging out. You don't have to take it that next level, and they could be on the borderline flirtatious, but it's not crossing any lines.
Yeah,
at all.
or like I was saying, or it was very, very light, harmless flirting.
Right, but not even to the point of kissing.
Yeah, and not where you make a move.
Yeah, but he was so desperate to, like, I need to, that, like I said, the spring break movie, I need to get laid this summer kind of thing, that he pushed it, and I think he totally misread it, and she obviously was like, And I was a little confused, though, because afterwards, she complained about how the toilet was clogged up later on in the theater. So I wasn't sure. She was playing cold to him. I'm sure it was because there was some awkwardness. Yeah. But then later on, she tries to invite him to a show, so I don't know if she still wants to be his friend, maybe, because she thinks he's cool.
Yeah.
He likes cool things. Just, it was awkward initially, and then she wanted to try to rekindle a friendship,
or just try to be like, "Hey,
we're cool about it."
Yeah,
like,
don't worry about
together.
it, dude.
Let's move forward. And then he did hook up with a white girl. Was she a lesbian? I was confused by that.
Bisexual, I think.
Yeah,
okay. Because she had hooked up or tried to hook up with Alice,
but they never did. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So he does finally have.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say he was a little upset about that. I can turn your mic off.
Yeah, I know you can. he's gonna delete all of my comments. It's just gonna be the Dennis and Johnny show. Oh no, so he did hook up. Sorry, he did hook up with the bisexual, and then he tries hooking up with her again, and that's when that scene, like, she comes over and he tries undressing her.
Well, I think it was like a.
Well, his friend tried to warn him. I mean, clearly it wasn't that she was some sort of floozy or anything. I think she's just very.
She's fluid about her sexuality.
Right.
She's open about being
I thought she was the female version of Ben, to be honest.
I saw her as just another kind of version of Alice. So that's why Alice could never get along with her, because they were two of the same type.
Yeah.
So she was willing
That's
to
a
hook
good
up
point.
with Ben, but she didn't want a relationship. Like
Yeah.
Ben wanted to kind of make it serious and try to take it to the next level, and she was feeling like I don't even know if she really had fully rekindled the relationship legitimately with her ex-girlfriend, but I think she just wanted, because she said something weird where if I told you the truth,
Yeah,
it would
why
like
she broke
destroy
up with
you.
him.
Yeah.
So I think the truth was that she didn't want. It was good for her. She didn't want him to think like, oh, you were inadequate in bed or anything like that. She just kind of wanted to hook up.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, because his penis size comes up quite a bit between him and her friend. His
Right.
friend, yeah.
And I think he would take it like, oh, my penis is small. That's why you're breaking up with me.
Yeah, it's
Which
just
is that's not her thing. She probably thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But she was like, look, we got laid. We fucked.
Yeah.
Well, and
move
he's an
on.
asshole. Like, she didn't want to say, like, you're an asshole. Like, I can't.
Well,
Can
and he's
I say
probably.
that?
I think we've all been around, whether it's significant others or just friends, around that person who's just so neurotic. It's kind of hard to be friends with them or intimate with them, whatever the case may be. Where there's just always.
We're talking about Johnny right now, right?
That's why I'm looking at him. Where they're always just worried about something, and they're so negative in their energy and everything like that. It's just like you had enough of them. I had that feeling from her. It's like he was probably bitching about this and that all the time with her, and there was nothing positive coming out. So even if she wanted to make it work, it was just like, no, I'm done with you, dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and yeah, she had a fleeting infatuation with him or sexual attraction to him. She hooked up with him, and she was, again, he is the lesser of the two because he's not adult enough to say, okay, you know what? Okay, good. We had our fun. It didn't work. I'm not emotionally connected to you.
Right.
Cool. Move on. And if he wasn't aware, if he isn't capable of that, then it's his fault for not letting her know, like, hey, I'm not into casual hookups. Like, that's not my thing. So, thanks. Cool. We can make out or whatever, but I'm not going to have sex with you.
Totally.
So,
What did you guys think at the end? So he goes to New York.
well, he's hooks up whatever with the one Caucasian woman.
Sasha is her name.
Oh, is it? Yeah, Sasha. That doesn't pan out, and then his friend.
Got kicked out of grad school.
Yeah, I was
She
like,
went
come out to New York.
Yeah, his friend Alice is in New York now with her. I think it might have been an ex-girlfriend, but now they're kind of becoming more serious.
Does he say? I don't remember anything about like I'll check in on Miko.
Yeah, he wants to do a surprise thing, like, hey, I'm at your.
He brings flowers to the internship.
He's trying to make it like Love Actually kind of thing.
Yeah,
he's trying to do a rom-com typical. Here's flowers. I'm showing up at your work,
but not because he had some sort of epiphany about like, oh, I've been wrong this entire time. Holy shit, my life is incomplete without her. I think it's more of a desperation of he's so codependent.
Right, because didn't they get in a fight on the phone? And she hangs up on him or something.
Yeah, they did get a fight on the phone.
And then he even says like, she's not returning my calls.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit worried. So I think you're right. It
Yeah,
wasn't
so he's definitely feeling a jealousy kind of angle.
Yeah, it's not like where
Asian.
he was with this woman and then was like, oh my God, what did I do? I love Miko. I want to be with Miko. I want to spend my life with Miko. I'm going to grow up. I'm going to start working on a relationship. He does it out of desperation.
Right. It's a faux epiphany, the kind when someone's so desperate that because they're losing everything.
Yeah, I don't think it's epiphany at all. I think he was just.
Well, it's one of those things like, when someone says, I'm going to clean up and not do drugs anymore, and they really don't mean it, but they don't want to lose the person that is walking away from it.
Yeah.
So it's,
or like, I promise I'll stop smoking, and then
Exactly.
they're smoking on the side.
Exactly.
So he's lost all control now. Like, she won't even speak to him. His friend has moved away. The theater that he was managing has closed down. There was an inspection.
Right.
They have to close. So his whole life has just everything he's holding on to. And I think Miko was the one thing he could grab. Like, we were just on a break. I could still get her and have some normalance of my life. I can maintain something. Yeah.
So then he goes out with the flowers.
Goes to the internship. She's never been there.
Yeah.
And that's the first, like, wait, something's not right.
Right. And then they go to a clothing store and, hey, isn't that your girl?
Well, in the internship, people are like, yeah, we really wanted her to be here. Mm-hmm. It's a shame she didn't follow up on the internship. right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't remember that
No,
part, but
yeah.
either
Yeah,
way,
I
it was a
infer that.
lie that she was actually ever getting any.
Yeah,
Or going to do it.
He found something. He found a postcard like at a clothing store, and that's like, oh, that's the photographer. So and
His friend had seen the
oh,
photograph.
that's right. And she said you got to come to New York. That's why he.
I
yeah.
have
something
you
to
have
show
say-
you.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
right.
Right.
That's what started it. God, I'm old. I just heard this 2 nights ago, and I'm like, wait, what was
It's
the
okay.
sequence?
I read it like
What?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but yeah, so he finally finds her. They like stalk some cafe, run into her, see her with the half Asian guy.
You'll bring her.
Yeah, so like one half is Asian, the other half is
Right,
Caucasian.
like Two-Face.
Yeah.
Like Two-Face, huh? Wow.
They have it out. She tells the guy, just go. She invites Ben back to her place. And she does kind of apologize. Like, I didn't handle it the best way. But she's like, and remember what you said when we were at the airport? You said it's up to you. And, like, I think that's when she was really like, this is over. Like, I'm asking you to give me something, and you're not. You're just shitting on me. So
Yeah.
I'm done with you. So then he goes back to his friend's house. Well, he goes back to his friend who's staying with her soon-to-be girlfriend. And
That's when he's looking more in depth at the postcard and is like, oh shit, those are my sheets.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how they got into the fight. So then he's with her for a few days, the friend, and now she's in this committed relationship. They love each other. She's dropping out of grad school. She's going to stay in New York. So he gets on a plane and goes back.
And that's it.
But what do you think that means?
Well, I think so. He I think because like it's lifting away and everything's tilting. Like so when you look at the drawing, it's from our perspective. Like
We're all turning to that page right
so
now.
when you look at it, but the horizon out the window is what's shifting.
You're right.
So
yeah.
like I think
It is tilted.
I think it's implying that
Then there's clouds and there's nothing.
he's starting to internalize like
That's how takeoffs work.
that he's hopefully he's growing up. That's what I think. It's like he's unhappy as fuck, and you hope he goes. I don't know. It's my internal optimism where I just think he's gonna go back and he's finally gonna grow up.
I think he's hit the proverbial rock bottom. Yeah, I mean he's been kicked out of the nest. He's lost his girlfriend. He doesn't have a job lined up back at home. His best friend, who was able to basically help him stay in this immature bubble, has moved on.
But that's the other part of it is like I don't think it was an equal friendship. I think he was another codependency because he was so critical of her. A lot of times, even she'd be like, "Jesus Christ, dude, can you take it down a notch?"
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's just such a bitter person.
See, I didn't get that. And that's why I thought she was more the main character than Miko was. I think that was really like his solid rock in life. Like that was and I think that probably like when she became in a committed relationship, I think that really was like the awakening for him.
Right.
Was like crap. Like she's moved on, and I think that I thought like it was like a genuine friendship, and because me and my friend. Like we talk to her all the time. She's like, "I love you, even though you're being a bitch," and I'm like, "Like that's how we are. Like that's
right.
We say that to each other all the time." Or I'm like, "You look like a hot mess," like when you're that good of friends, you will tell each other,
right?
And you tend to be more open and more your negative self around your best friend because you're in a safe area. They'll tell you like, "Shut the hell up," but they're like, "Oh my god, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. You can't talk to me that way."
Yeah, the ending paralleled a lot to me, Ghost World, where this one bitter negative character finally was forced to basically face the fact that you can't be that bitter negative person for the rest of your life. Other people are moving on,
or they're fleeing from it, and they're fleeing from reality. That could be the other interpretation of the ending is he's fleeing from reality.
So what you brought up is that as he's leaving, the skyline's very tilted, and now there's clouds, and the very last shot is a clear window. There's nothing. It's almost like a clean slate. Like it's kind of like, okay, he's going to go through this really rocky point, but it's going to be clear, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised, though, he did go back because he has nothing to go back to.
Well, his home's there. I mean,
well, that's the thing. Like, so that's where the gray area was like, okay, is he just going back to what's comfortable, even though it's not healthy, or is he going? Is he going somewhere and he's going to grow?
And something we never discussed, and I think this is also another important element, is Miko, his girlfriend, is a trust fund baby, and she pays a lot of the rent. So when she
no, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too until just now because we're talking about like what's he going back to. She gave him like 4 months rent, her half of the rent for 4 months before she left, and even the girlfriend's like, how can you afford? Or his girlfriend, like his friend, was like, how can you afford to live there? Marcus Bay is expensive even then. So it's like. Yeah, like he has to start like really living on his own now, like being fully responsible. There's no safety net anymore. You can't.
Well, now that you're saying that, it's coming back to me. I think she partially did that too to like buy herself some
consciousness.
Yeah, to get rid of some guilt.
That's how Catholicism works.
Like that's why you put some money in the donation.
Right.
I think that was part of her way of being like, okay, I can't feel too guilty because I gave him $4,000. He should be fined for several months.
But I like what you said about the clean slate at the end, because that's true. I mean, he is going back to nothing, but now maybe that's what his mind's looking at. It's like, okay, I'm starting with nothing, but now I don't have these other hangups. I don't have this girlfriend I have to always worry about. I don't have to worry about this job. He graduated, right?
Yeah, he has his degree. That's why I was surprised. Like, why are you working at
Well, because that's his ultimate coolness. He probably always wanted to be in the movie industry, but never really took that leap.
Or put effort into it.
Right. So that was his safety kind of zone. Like, oh, I can always talk about Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino until I die kind of thing. And
shit on things because I work around movies.
And he's probably deathly afraid of being made fun of, like he made fun of that other...
He's like a bully.
Right.
Bullies bully because... It's they've been picked on, or it's their way. It's like a coping mechanism. Like I'm gonna fuck these people up before they can fuck me up. Plus, another thing is like when you don't have any skin in the game, it's really easy to be critical of things.
Right. Totally.
When you don't put any effort into putting something artistic out, it's really easy to be shitty about arts.
Right.
You bring up a good point because. Billboards.
All of my points are good.
No, that was the first in 10 years.
I don't know. The porno point was pretty good for me.
No, you got me. Like when you talked about like the toys, I was like, that made me rethink this. But
the toys,
the vibrator.
Yeah.
Oh,
so billboards.
You're super Catholic.
Yeah, I'm always like, so billboards. I drive by them. They're stupid. I'm always looking at them. And then now I'm a writer, and part of my job is billboards. And billboards are the hardest thing to write for because the space is so limited. Yeah. You have to catch it. And I look at billboards now so differently than how and before I was just like, that's stupid. Why'd you come up with that headline, or what's that supposed to be? And I do look at them and I'm like, why it works for me and why it doesn't, just so that I can become better at what I'm doing, because I need to, like even the billboard I just did recently, I still like it, but it's just too long. And I knew that was going to be like, you're not going to read it all. The message gets lost because, you're driving. You have to look at the road.
You're the cause of the accident.
Exactly. So, but it's still good. Like I love it. But yeah, so I was super critical, but now that I'm in it, I have a lot more sympathy for those people. And when I see something really crappy, I'm like, I wonder who made that call, because I know it wasn't the writer. There's everyone else who has to approve it, right?
There's multiple levels.
Yeah. So if you're making a movie, you've got to speak to your producers. You're going to answer to the board. Same with writing. Same with your podcast.
I don't answer to anybody. Anyone, and that's why
Sasha was like, yes, you can do this tonight. But no, and there's even there's regulations. There's certain things you can and can't say, and if you got something for free, you need to state that it was free. You can't just say this thing is great. There are rules and regulations to everything. But you are right, you do your own thing, which is good. So, but now that I'm in it, I am much more sympathetic.
When I think there's two levels of, I think you can respect someone's efforts and encourage them, and also, even as a friend, be critical and look at something critically and give good critiques, but still be their friend and still encourage them. Because obviously you don't want to put them in some sort of echo chamber where everything's like, you did great, buddy, and...
Or the opposite of that is, it sucks.
Right.
Well, okay, tell me why.
Right.
Tell me
exactly.
Tell me what didn't work.
And he doesn't have that maturity where it's just like, everything sucks, this is bad.
Yeah.
Where you can't, uplift the fact that they made the effort to make the films, but also there's a time and place where you can give a critique. At a film festival where you're celebrating the fact that they finished the film and here it is not the time. On the red carpet, so to speak, you don't go, well, that really sucked, and here's why. And he was laughing during the movie.
Oh,
and that's why she was really critical of him. And he showed no respect.
Well, he was like, he was sarcastically laughing
Right.
at it like a dick. Well, and that's the thing. She didn't make any of those movies, so his criticism shouldn't have been directed at her, and just to shit on her.
Well, I think he was crapping on her because she was supporting it just because it was Asian. He couldn't understand that fact. She was starting to go through her maturity phase where it's like, look, I'm going to support this artistic community, and this is what I want to do. And he just like, how can we be even a part of this? This is like a
You should
circus.
be ashamed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm ashamed to be a human being, was what he actually said.
Yeah.
You know, and he couldn't grasp the idea that someone could just support the creation of something. And you can be critical about it later on, and there's a time and place for that, but you couldn't just celebrate the fact that these people accomplished this task.
Yeah. All right. So in closing, because we're over an hour now.
Oh,
What did you guys think of the book overall?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was very similar to Ghost World, but for very different reasons. And it made me think about other people's identity, like how they have to deal with. Because, oh my God, it sounds terrible, but I mean, like, I'm Italian, but I'm white, so there's a lot of things that like I don't really think about. Like, I never feel uncomfortable when I'm outside. I never feel like I'm not represented. You know, I just never feel that way. I do feel like I'm a woman, so I'm suppressed a lot. But
anyway, you've spoken enough.
Exactly. But no, so it made me think like, oh yeah, like other people are still trying to like fit into a mold, and and that's got to be very challenging. And also, it did, just having been in a relationship with an Asian, and I knew some of his viewpoints. It did resonate with me, and just being in a relationship, just being with another human being,
right, totally.
And having to be nice to them when you don't really want to be nice, and how to balance that. And I really liked it, and I thought, again, just so honest and raw, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I would agree. I loved the whole thing. Obviously, I could sort of identify with Ben in the sense of straddling two different cultures. I mean, that's always been a struggle for me. Just the relationship angle is just. It was very honest. I mean, it was just, that's how things are. There's the uncomfortable moments, the tension between them, even when there wasn't like weird, angry thought bubbles or anything. You could just feel it, like when she was rejected. Overall, art, great. Story was great. I didn't have any sympathy for the main character, but I felt it was overall just a great book that encapsulated a lot of struggles, especially for someone in dealing with an interracial or multicultural issues.
I thought it sucked. No, I loved it.
More boobs.
Yeah, I could have used more blonde Caucasian titties. No,
there's only one.
Oh, was there?
No, you're not counting the weird rock performance.
The big
yeah.
sock full of quarters boobs.
Yeah, I think you got some twigs and berries in that too. So.
You did. No, I really liked it a lot. It's one of those books where I feel so uncomfortable, and like I am sympathetic to the character because you just want, like, if I had a son or a daughter, I would make them read this when they were like 19 or 20. I'd be like, I want you to read this book because you're going to love someone at some point, probably in the next couple of years. You're going to have real adult love for this person, not this childish infatuations that you think are love. You're going to genuinely care for someone, and you're still going to fuck it up. You're still going to be selfish, and you're going to take things for granted, and you're going to fuck it up, and you're going to lose that person, and you'll always have a little bit of love for them. You'll always carry a piece of them. You may even regret the relationship ending, but it needs to happen so that the next one that comes along, you'll be more conscious of and aware of your actions and your behavior and your words, and that's the relationship that's going to work because you're both hopefully at that same maturity level, and this is a flag along the way of what the stupid shit are, that the stupid things that you're going to do to ruin that first relationship where you genuinely truly love someone out. The love is bigger than the both of you, and it's going to end, and it's going to suck. But hopefully this will help you avoid that, or it'll make it a little bit easier. Or when you start to see these things happening in yourself or them, you can hopefully address it. Don't be Ben.
Right. No, you know what? That's an excellent point, Johnny. And actually, it's true. I don't not have sympathy for Ben. I did have sympathy for parts of.
Yeah. There's a lot of me that I see in Ben when I was younger. I was such an angry fuck up.
And I forget that perspective. Like, I'm looking at it as a 41-year-old, whereas if I was, 30, I was a little better than Ben was. But younger years, I can definitely see how you just assume things are always going to be a certain way, and you think you know how the world's going to work. You're not a teenager anymore, so you think, hey, I'm in my 20s, and then suddenly reality hits where you're not in the job you want,
or worse, everyone's moving on to they've through whatever, either through effort or luck or a combination of both have found the thing that they are now trying to do, the thing that brings them fulfillment and success, however you define success. Like
right.
they found something that is fulfilling, and you're still floundering and you're bullshit. So, right. Well, where can people follow you, Francis, on the old social medias? You look really unhappy. Are you pissed off at us? Or
No. Sorry. I was just thinking.
Just wait for us dumbasses to
I was thinking
finish
about something that I didn't do that I need to do before I leave.
Do
it. You can follow Graphic Novel Explorers Club on Twitter.
Yes, that's at GN Explorers Club.
So clever we are. And you can follow me personally on Instagram at Words and Waffles, or you can just hang out in Midtown like Ben and hope you run into me. I'm often there.
Usually she's pushing a shopping cart.
Yes, with cats.
and toys.
Yeah.
Where can people follow you at, Dennis?
Just basically at GN Explorers Club. Or you can also email us at gnexplorersclub@gmail.com. How about you, Johnny?
On the old Serious Talk Twit, and then Instagram, I think it's Serious Talk Johnny, something like that. I'm out there.
And we're on iTunes, right?
We will be.
iTunes, Stitcher, wherever greater podcasts are found.
Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
We're
for
on the
listening.
Googles.
Subscribe.
Yeah, if you're still listening, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
And
you.
that's the other thing. Get involved. Let us know what you think about the book. Email us, tweet it, Instagram it. Let us know what you think about the book.
Let us know
read.
if we overlook something super
if
vital.
we're way off topic, let us know.
Or if you think that
Francis is really wrong about
masturbating is cheating.
Which it's not.
You're all going to hell. Please join us next week as we read Afterlife with Archie by Roberto Aguiar Sacasa. And I apologize if I said that wrong.
All right, were you going to do your intro there, lady?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just cookie.
Cookie
perfect.
mouth? Cookie puss? That was
These are high in iron, by the way, so it's healthy.
Oh, awesome.
Well, that's your puss. And then you're eating a cookie. Cookie puss. And it's actually, I think it's an ice cream sandwich. Back east, Corvell's Cookie Puss. There's a Beastie Boys song. Almost a Beach Boys song.
Is your mind going?
Yeah,
It's a real thing.
This podcast has gone to crap.
I know.
We're done.
I'm done.
Cookie Puss.
I guess we have the new name for the podcast.
Yeah.
Ready?
What is this?
La 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 la. You're doing your vocal exercises. 1, 2, 1, 2. Queen rules. Queen rules.
That quick.
Oh my God, are we
The
recording?
pepper pick. The pepper pick.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, we're recording.
Good evening. You are listening to Graphic Novel Explorers Club. And in tonight's episode, we will be discussing the graphic novel Shortcomings, written by Adrian Tomine. I said that wrong. You are joined with your hosts today, me, Francis.
Dennis.
And Johnny from the block. I used to have a little, and I still don't have a lot. Because I'm Johnny. Johnny from the block.